Hello everybody, I'm Hacklebeast, and this is the second semifinal match of the Twitch TV Gambit Cup between NB and SAS. In the bottom right hand position we have NB's Terror as the purple Terran, and in the top right position we have SAS Draw, who I capitalized incorrectly. Draw. There we go. He is the teal Protoss. So, a very good matchup today between two talented teams, NB and SAS. Last Gambit Cup, they teamed up together and won as Team SAS NB. But now they are on opposite sides, and only one can advance to the finals to play against GT for $800? I believe it is $800. Maybe I should check that. Anyway, should be a good match between Draw and Terror. Two relatively active players in the foreign brood war community. Draw, who likes his late game stuff and is good at those later stages with controlling large armies and always having nice macro, good compositions, and engaging at right angles. And Terror, who is better in the early game and is known for his love of the vulture and just flooding the map, especially in TVP, with so many vultures. So we'll have to see if Draw can effectively clear out those mines and effectively wall off his expansion so that Terror will be unable to get in any vulture run-bys. Map's going to be Jade. 4-player map. Excuse me. 4-player map. Most remarkable thing would be the reverse ramp, and then the entrance. Oh, excuse me. This is not Jade. This is Gladiator. Never mind. This is Gladiator. The most remarkable thing being the reverse ramp and the Heartbreak Ridge-esque spikes that go down into the middle. Make a huge circle around the map. You know, that feels like one of those things. They're always Heartbreak Ridge spires, and everybody just knows them as that. But it seems like one of those things that Heartbreak Ridge wasn't the first map they had it. They probably had ridges exactly like this in some random ass map from 2005 that nobody's ever seen, unless you were playing StarCraft in 2005. And it's like, oh yes, those are actually in memory of Jim Raynor's type spires. But since nobody knows what Jim Raynor's memory looks like, nobody's ever going to say Jim Raynor's memory spires. I wonder if there was a map that did it before. Ooh. Draw's putting a pylon in the third outside of Terror's base. Now, Draw is a player who likes to throw down scouting pylons in places like that to look for drops, and Terror is a player who does favor the drop play every now and then. But this is far too early for that, and it looks like Draw is preparing some sort of cheese. Or at least I would imagine so. Coming up a lot of gas. And another gateway. Maybe it was just for scouting. I mean, clearly that went down far before drops could possibly come. As the factory is just now finishing up, much less the starport, much less the control tower on the starport. But I guess Terror really isn't going to go out in that direction, so it's safe in and of itself. It's just a little peculiar that he went for it so early. Anyway, first two greens for Draw out, and they will be wailing away at the bunker for a little while now, as the first tank is under construction. The other thing that putting the pylon over there does is that it will scare Terror. As he comes into Draw's base, he will count 3 pylons and realize, no, Protoss should have 4 pylons at this point, and it might freak him out just a little bit. And actually, that might be why he got the Academy so ooh. Oh, that is not why he got the Academy so early. Terror's going 3 Raxes for now. He could add more Raxes beyond that, but we're going to have a Bio versus Protoss build. Intriguing. Bio can be really effective versus Protoss, especially in the beginning of the games, just because the Dragoons and the Dragoons don't do damage very quickly, and the Zealots are too slow to close in on a big pack of Stim Marines. The problem is when you reach a point in the game where some of the Protoss higher tech kicks in. Speed kicks in, Zealots become really good against Marines. Reavers kick in and they start taking out packs of 5 Marines a hit. And then Storm kicks in, and it's just impossible to do anything with Marines. So there is a small window for a bioing Terran player to do a lot of damage against Protoss, but he really needs to hit that before Draw can get Reavers or Templar or Speed out. Ooh, wow, and Draw's throwing down a lot of gateways behind this. And an expansion. Interesting, he cut a lot of Dragoons to throw down 3 more gateways and a third. Well, he got some Dragoons, not a lot. Observatory on the way. I mean, 5 gateways is not going to exactly... It's going to help in the sense that you can just pump out a lot of Dragoons. But a lot of Dragoons might not be enough against this kind of 5 racks from Terror. Oh man. Well, this is going to be fun. 6th rack's going down now. Draw is going to have a lot of Dragoons, but if Terror can consistently keep his tanks protected, as I imagine he would be able to with so many Marines, then... excuse me. If he can keep the tanks protected, then he should be able to do a lot of damage with this push. Now, I don't think Draw quite saw all the Marines or a medic, so Draw might have pulled back a little bit too hastily. It's unclear whether he knows exactly what's coming. I imagine he would not anticipate this kind of build. He will have a bunch of Dragoons on the high ground, though, and he sees multiple medics. He knows something weird's up, certainly now. So how will he deal with it? He's going to have the high ground, and he will have a lot of Dragoons, but the Marines are pretty good against Dragoons with their stim and with their medics. Sieging up 1 tank just to be sure, and Draw's going to be forced to retreat. Where is his tech? He does have a Citadel, and leg speed just started, but leg speed will not be in time for to deal with this attack. Is going to be so strong from Terror, sending in the Marines. They're on the low ground, but so that's a problem. Now sieging up some of the tanks, forcing the Dragoons back once again, and now Terror has the high ground, Draws Dragoons forced away from his main, and the Marines are going to be able to go in. Oh, this is not good for Draw. Going to be able to pick off these pylons. And now the Dragoons coming in from the back. They're going to be able to snipe some of these tanks, possibly. Marines coming to defend. No, the Dragoons are forced back once again. Could not get enough tanks. And now the Citadel's unpowered. Wouldn't have had enough time to get speed anyway. And a bunker going down. Certainly a lot of Marines to put in bunkers. And I imagine that SCV will not stop working for the rest of this match. Nexus is going to fall. There are still Dragoons back here, but Terra's doing a good job of nullifying their threat. And there's still Marines in the bunker. The Dragoons can pick off some Marines as they try to reinforce. They can go and attack themselves, which might be what Draw is thinking here. Nope. Not going to do it, but more Marines streaming in. And Terror has the high ground on a reverse ramp map. This is almost impossible for Protoss to break. He does have some units that would come in from the back, and he would absolutely need that if he ever could get to a position to break this. But That's looking less and less likely. Rebuilding the Citadel, he needs to restart his leg upgrade immediately. He has so many speed lots, but they're slow lot, or so many slow lots. So aren't able to get to the battle very quickly. They're all clumping up to the tank fire. There's a probe drill on the Marines, so the probes will go down very quickly as soon as the Zealots go down. And Dragoons coming in from the back. The tanks are unprotected now that the bunker is down, so Draw will be able to clean up the tanks, will be able to clean up the M&M with the probe drill. Oh, all but one. The Dragoons clean up that last one. And Terror's push has been stopped, but he's done so much damage, killed off so much of Draw's army, killed off probes, killed off the entire natural, killing off gateways. It's now 64 supply compared to, only 69 for Terror. I expected Terror to have a little bit more. I mean, he did lose his entire push there. But here comes Terror again with another attack. This time, no tanks. Oh, there's the tank. Good. He does need at least a couple in there to really kind of move those goons around. But Terror does not realize about this expansion from Draw yet. And that could really keep Draw in this game if Terror doesn't realize that he's not actually on 2 bases versus 1. Speed should be finishing soon. Speed is at 60%, and here comes the Templar Archives. As soon as Storm is out, Terror is going to be in a world of hurt, so he needs to do more damage before that comes out. If Terror realizes that Draw has a hidden expansion over there, and an undefended hidden expansion at that, this could be game over for Draw immediately, but Terror does not seem to be going in that direction. He still may be able to crush the front anyway, establishing missile turrets to defend against shuttles or Dark Templar. More likely the Dark Templars. This would be around the time the Templar would come out. And the Nexus is cancelled once again. Dragoons forced back. And Terror once again in a good position at the top of Draw's main. Now establishing 2 bunkers. It looks like he stopped construction on one of them. For whatever reason. Uh-oh. Is that tank going to scout it? Is that tank going to scout it? Oh, I think that tank is going to scout it. Oh, no. Oh, no, he scouted it. He scouted it, and now Terror can send out just a fraction of his army to go take care of that entire expansion. Draw will be reduced to only a single base, and Draw doesn't even wait that long. GG's. Terror taking game number 1 for NB. Man. Bio TVP. It's a good way to start off the day. Set an alarm, wake up nice and early to be able to cast this, and boom. Stim Marines taking out goons. What? Where'd all my replays go? These are replays from yesterday. Where are all my replays gone? I don't know. Brood War is so confusing. Momentary standby as I look that up. Because it brings me back to the folder I was just in to host that replay. And clearly, I hosted SAS vs. NB. I do have these replays. They exist on the computer. They were in this folder at one point. Where are they gone? The replays have vanished. Okay. That's fine, whatever, man. I can go and re-put them in the folder. Well, that's the weirdest thing that's happened to me today. And by today, I mean in the past hour. Okay. And we have replays again. So, we're going into game number 2, Lossy Lahi versus Cashew. And I have no idea what either of these players are going to be. So, okay. Orange versus red. We have Sass Cashew as the red Zerg in the left side. Sass Cashew. Okay, I place Cashew. Oh, no capital K. Alright. And on the right side, we have NB's. I do not know how to capitalize Lossy Lahi. NB. Lossy. Law. There we go. Technical and one-handed fun. And he is the orange Terran. So, Lossy Lahi is a race picker between Terran and Zerg. For various matchups, and Cashew plays every race, but apparently he has been playing Zerg more often and trying to standardize in that regard. So not terribly surprising to see him as the Zerg player. But we're going to have a TVZ. Alright. Lossy Lahi is the Finnish player who hasn't been active hardly at all in this Gambit Cup. Just very few appearances. But it's good to see him... it's good to see him playing now. Lossy Lahi reminds me that I once casted like a fun Icy Cup tour that he was in. And there was a terrible pun made by his opponent about how they once went to... The opponent said in chat that they once went to Helsinki, but the airline lost their luggage. It vanished into thin air. Dun-dun-ch. And I love terrible puns, so I thought that was hilarious. But Lossy Lahi did not get it at all. It was just like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And then later on in the game, he's like, so, did you ever recover your luggage? Just completely above his head. Oh, man. Certain European countries just have trouble with sarcasm. Apparently they are completely... Or not... I guess it's not sarcasm. That's puns. But... a culture free of puns sounds like a culture I don't want to be a part of. Cashew going for the normal stuff. His third hatchery's on the way. Will most likely go Mutalisks. But yet to be seen. Does have 6 lings out. Meanwhile, Lossy Lahi messing up a little bit, allowing a drone to get the scout off, although it won't see terribly much. The most important thing would be seeing the timing at the command center at this point, and then looking at the gas and ooh. Ooh, we have a ZVT gas steal. Intriguing. And that... He's going to cancel it and then rebuild it. I don't know if that's entirely necessary to cancel it and immediately rebuild it. I mean, you do restart the timer for building it, and you do get a little bit of health back in the long run, but not that much. Is he just going to keep doing it? Yes, he is. He's going to keep rebuilding, constantly rebuilding the extractor. That's going to keep it down for a while. Is he going to go for some weird kind of attack after this? Or is he just delaying it to prevent stim? I don't know, but here comes the attack of Zerglings. There's some Marines distracted, so Lossy Lahi actually does not have a lot as front to defend. The bunker goes down, and Lings are now in the base, taking out a bunch of the Marines. There are only a couple left. The extractor finishes. And all the Lings were taken care of. Lossy Lahi did lots of Marines But the issue here is now he doesn't have a lot of Marines. He needs to keep them at the front, and he won't. And the first gas is going to be the natural gas, so that gas is very late. That may have actually delayed the gas long enough, possibly, to delay stim or range? Maybe? I don't think so. But it might force Lahi to not make a couple medics. Well, I'm very curious to see exactly how that very late gas is going to play into Lahi's game plan. How exactly he has to tailor it to account for that. That's weird. Oh man, Brood War. Brooder graphics. Let weird stuff like this happen. Anyway, Spire's on the way. So where are I'm looking for the gas upgrades. Stim has just started. And the Spire's halfway done, so range should be out just in the nick of time. To prevent the Mutalisks from coming in. And Lahi does still have a good reservoir of gas. With the first 3 medics coming out. And obviously continuing to mine gas. So I'm not exactly sure what that gas deal really did for Cashew in the end. I mean, if Lahi was planning on going mech or something, he may have forced him into bio, but that's a stretch at best. Oh, looks like Lahi's gonna go for a little pre-muted timing attack. But you won't actually get there before the Mutalisks are out, and whoa. Whoa. That's a fake Spire. That's a fake Spire because there are no Mutalisks on the way. It is all Hydra and Zerglings with the Lurker upgrade just about to finish. So this is not going to be a pre-muted timing attack. This is going to be a pre-Lurker timing attack. And here come the Marines. They see the Hydralisks, so Lahi already knows what's up. And those Hydralisks are going to do nothing against the stimmed Marines. More Sunkens going down, but they're not quite in time now, just popping. And 3 Sunkens down, there are Zerglings coming out. It is going to force Lahi to retreat, but Cashew has been outed. He has been outed. Lahi knows exactly what's coming. And I guess that the gas deal was to prevent the factory, not to prevent marine upgrades. Because that is what that's what Lahi needs right now. He needs the factory, he needs the starport to get out vessels and tanks to deal with lurkers. Well, really vessels or tanks. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lurkers on the way. Oh, Cashew. Cashew and your fake Spire. Oh, aren't you so crafty? More lurkers being thrown down. There's even a lurker in... Ooh. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say it looked like he was on hold position. I don't know why he was able to attack the SCV here and not here, but whatever, man. It's fine. And Cashew is going to be gearing up for a very strong lurker ling bust here. Oh, but engaging with all the lings and no lurker support, so he's going to lose all of his lings and a lurker. Nice micro by Lahi, but that was a bad engagement from Cashew perspective. And oh, Lahi needs to back up now. Losing 4 Marines. There is this annoying lurker here that's going to be able to get off a couple shots when the other forces are coming home. Lahi may have seen it. Oh, well, he sees it now, certainly, as the Marines walk over it. Going to cost him 3 Marines. And nice little fan out from Lahi. Still going to cost him 2 more Marines, though. He can use the Spire to build Scourge, and the Scourge are going to be very key for taking out the first couple of Science Vessels, or Dropship in this case. Lossy gearing up for the drop. It'd be quite beneficial to Cashew if he was able to snipe it. The Overlord not going to quite see the dropship because the dropship's going to go around it. Does he have Scourge in position? No, he's an Overlord over there. But I don't even think that Overlord... Okay, that Overlord will see the tail end of the dropship, but he doesn't have Scourge in position to defend, so the Marines will get off. He's now flying over the hatchery, so he certainly knows. And oh, he's not dropping them all in the same location. That's a bit of a mistake. You need to drop all your units right on top of each other so that the medic can heal. And that they're all tightly together. I guess he wanted to drop them as fast as possible because he knew Cashew was going to be rallying in units. And that drop did not go off well at all. Quickly dispatched. Cashew saw the SCV over here and actually is going to expand way over in this corner of the map. Just trying to hide that from Terran at the moment. And Lossy Law, he's gearing up for an attack, and this is a very scary attack, but the Science Vessel is way too far forward. Will Cashew be able to snipe it? Here comes the Lurkers and the Lings, and the tanks are even too far forward, so the Lurkers are going to be able to get pretty far up and snipe one of the tanks. And oh no! The Science Vessel was on top of all the Marines, but the Marines are not shooting at the Scourge, so it's going to cost him the Science Vessel. That's going to delay the push by a lot. Nice snipe by Cashew, and a pretty substantial mistake on Lossy Lahi's part. Cashew repositioning his units, just leaving a single lurker behind as a scouter, as a preventative measure from Lossy Lahi just walking through. It's going to force him to take a little bit of time to kill it. He was hoping that the vessel wouldn't quite be out as fast. But here comes the attack from Cashew on the other side. He's going to go in for the bust. There is a siege tank there, though. Oh, he's losing a lot of lurkers before they're able to burrow. Now they're burrowed, and they can shoot through those Marines. Marines coming from the backside, though. Lossy Lahi trying to defend, and he's just going to accept a lot of Marine losses to try to deal with these lurkers. He's not even going to get all of them. There's still a good number, but the bunker is going to be enough that Cashew can't advance any further, and he's going to have to retreat with his other lurkers. That lurker has 11 kills, but Lossy Lahi will defend against the bust, and oh, randomly a couple Marines here catching Cashew off guard, and it's going to cost him the 3 lurkers. Very nice. He does, in fact, though, see the command center going down, so he knows that is where Lossy Lahi is trying to expand next. Ooh, and Lossy Lahi has transitioned into mech. Or has he? No, he just built vultures off of one factory? No, okay, there's the other factory. I was going to say, that would be very odd if he was using that factory to build vultures instead of siege tanks. Not because vultures aren't good, but just because you need to use the resource that is factory build time on siege tanks rather than vultures. But Lossy Lahi now with the double starports and 2 factories as well. Gonna be able to shut down that expansion. Hive is done. Crack? Could Crack possibly be done? I might be a little bit too fast for Crack. No, Crack is not done. He hasn't started it. That's a mistake. You should start Crack immediately after getting Hive. But Lossy Lahi's going to move in. He has, with a very strong army, even dematrixing a Marine to try to detract some of that lurker fire. And now is standing in a very threatening position. It's still going to be a little while before the Defilers come out, as the Defiler Mound only just finished. Doesn't have to consume either. He needs to consume to get that energy to cast the first swarm. And he's running low on gas is the issue. He's spending so much gas on these lurkers. But here comes an attack. It's coming in from 2 directions. It's not going to need Defilers. We'll be able to clean that up very nicely. Good attack from Cashew. Lossy Lahi managed to pulling some of his units back into the corner, so he can get at least some Zergling kills out of that. But double dropship going into the main. This could do a lot of damage if Cashew's not paying attention. He should have vision. He certainly has vision of this, as there was an Overlord in position to see it, but the Defiler Mound! No, he's not targeting the Defiler Mount. He's attacking the units. Will it be enough? The Lurker goes down after getting a shot off on all the Marines, so all the Marines are injured. But he's microing them, so all the Zerglings go down, and he will. He will get the Defiler Mount. His Consume is only halfway done. Canceling Consume, we see, saves himself just a slight bit of money with that. But certainly a bad loss for Cashew. The Marines will go down once again. The drones forced to retreat. Some of them killed on the way out. And now the Hive itself is in danger of being killed. There's a Defiler here. And now the Lurkers are rushing in. He needs those Lurkers. They're your units behind. Almost in time to snipe at some of those Lurkers. Spire going down. The Hive is at 2,000 health. Lost his first 500, but he's not going after it. He's going to go after the spawning pool. A lot lower health building, and I believe he will. Yes, he will, in fact, be able to pick off that spawning pool. Oh, the Spire, the Defiler Mound, the spawning pool, all lost in this attack for Lassie Lahi. Not to mention the drone kills or the other units he killed. Didn't even use that medic to help out. A very, very nice double drop for Lassie Lahi. Ooh, and Cashew morphing Lurkers out in the middle of the map. This one should be picked off. Not while it's in egg form, but nope. Coming to save it, and Irradiation getting a lot of even the Irradiation even killing a Defiler accidentally, and another Lurker. The incidental Irradiate doing a lot of damage there. Cashew not so good about splitting up his units. These science vessels can afford to be really aggressive because, as we saw, there is no Spire. And a re-dropping in, even going to snipe the Hive. No, it's only at 300 health, 335 health. The Marines are moving back, but that's not enough Marines to snipe it. And Lassie Lahi sending in reinforcements. Sending in reinforcements. Those Lurkers are going to mean that he really can't kill all the units off. He just... no. Reinforcements not going to be enough either. But without the Spire, he doesn't have Scourge, and without Scourge, the Science Vessels can afford to be very aggressive. There's nothing to stop Lassie Lahi from just consistently dropping if he wants to continue with that kind of play, and Lassie Lahi is playing this game very well. Lurkers moving up, but they're going to run into some mines. Oh, so sad. Vulture's coming down to harass this base. I don't think he's quite found this base yet, because this would be a very easy base for his Vulture to do a lot of damage at, as there are only Lurkers just now morphing. Now, I was wondering what activated the Spider Mine, but in fact, Larva does activate Spider Mine hits. So when another Larva pops out there, it'll activate one more. But Lassie Lahi at 142 supply. Cashew only at 72. He did manage to throw down the Defiler, did manage to rebuild the Defiler Mount, although that's a Defiler Mount in a rather vulnerable location in front of your sunken colonies. If we take a look at the upgrades, 2 armor upgrades, but no attack for either the Lurkers or the Hydralisks, compared to 3-2 for Lassie Lahi. Obviously, Lassie Lahi with a huge upgrade advantage at this point, and he dematrixed one of the Marines, and he's going in now. There are not a lot of Lurkers here. Cashew needs to use them very effectively. He does have a Defiler, but it does not have enough energy for Swarm. Consume is once again not going to finish, so Cashew still swarmless in this engagement. And the Defilers are radiated anyway, so it will not be able to get up enough energy. The Marines are moving in. All the sunken colonies have go down. There are just a couple of Lurkers left with a lot more morphing. But will he be able to take him out? A double D-Matrix. Yet another one on the Marine. The Science Vessels have too much energy. They have nothing else to irradiate. And now the Marines are going to kill off a lot of stuff. The Lurkers finally hatch. The Lurkers finally hatch and they need to burrow. Yes, they are now burrowing. But Lassie Lahi going to micro his Marines away, retreating from them, still trying to do some damage, and now going in for another attack. He does have these D-Matrix Marines, but he didn't quite micro that correctly to detract fire. The Lurker still did a lot of damage, and there are not many left. Ooh, losing all of his Science Vessels, that's a mistake. Obviously, Hydralisk can kill them if you're not paying attention, but it should be pretty easy to navigate away. And meanwhile, Vulture run by. Vulture run by into the main, and there are so many drones. There are so many drones. Killing off a good number of them as and now they retreat. killing off even a couple more after that. Cashew going for a counterattack of his own, though. There's no defenses here, so the SCVs are going to be forced to retreat command center to lift. Eventually. Oh man, in Law he's building factories in Cashew's base. Well, it's not Cashew's base anymore. Hatchery now taken out. The only thing that is keeping Cashew with a hope of getting back into this game is the fact that he has this hidden base. But even with it, chances of victory are very slim. And oh, that is a lot of science vessels. Chances of victory are very slim, and even in Lumpy Law, he's just gonna find it anyway. Eventually. And eventually is now. Walter got in. So, he knows that this base is very vulnerable. This is where he rebuilt the spawning pool, so the spawning pool is probably going to be lost a second time. Ooh, what? How did that work? It blew up the Zerglings, but then it killed an SCV over here. I guess that was just like one injured SCV, and the entire train, and now the entire train probably all now has 11 out of 60 health. But eraser trick on the drones, putting them into a little bit better of a position. And a lot of these drones are going to go down. 7 kills on one, 3 on the other, and still racking them up. Have enough energy for the double irradiate, as there are still a few drones left. Looks like Cashew going in for another attack here with the last of his lurkers. But they are going to be cleaned up. Just the pure lurkers at this stage in the game are not enough, especially with the Marines. Such nice upgrades. D-Matrix on the tank. Where even is the science? Oh, there's a science of the list. Stochastic D-Matrix. And Cashew now very much so hurting for money. This base is mined out. This base is very close to mined out and has no saturation. This base has no saturation in and of itself. And it looks like Cashew going for another attack. Where are those drones? Oh, the drones are over here. They were being transferred, but it's pulling them back. And now moving across the map, the science vessels have a lot of energy. Still no Spire, so no Scourge. Just Hydralisk to try to kill them off. Does he have Consume yet? I hope he has Consume. Zerglings going in again. But even if they can break the front, which is debatable, it's just so little damage they can do at this point. All the Zerglings die to mines. They're going to be able to pick up the science facility, stop this expansion from going down. But that's fine, because Lossy Law, he's already expanded to here, can expand to here anytime he wants to. And now has what, triple the supply? Oh, that's a lot more than triple. That's over quadruple. Closing in on quintuple the supply of Cashew. And catching some free defilers in the middle of the map. GG from Cashew. Lost Law, he takes game 2, and NB with a quick 2-0 over SAS? Not expected from a lot of people. And NB is making a great start for an upset here. Oh man, are we still arguing about if Terran is imbalanced or not? You guys. Lockdog was on SAS? I did not know Lockdog was on SAS. Okay. Well, we got Favor versus Lockdog. So, in the bottom right, we have NB's favorite as the yellow Protoss. I'm pretty sure that was for me. No. No, you cannot, Obs. Shit, I don't know how to D&D on fish. Because just doing /D&D doesn't work. Somebody in chat, how do I D&D on fish? Bottom left hand corner we have Sass Lockdog. It's not D&D, because I just did it. Unless all those question marks were fish telling me you did it right. But isn't it like mute? I can't remember now. Oh. Okay, cool. I thought I did that once and it didn't work. So then I just kind of assumed it would never work, but that's what I get for not being able to read Korean. And by not reading Korean, I mean not being able to read question marks, because it wasn't Korean, it was literally just question marks. So, Lockdog versus favorite. Favorite is a player who I think natively is on VTV, but playing for NB throughout the course of this Gambit Cup. And he gets thrown into that large, vague category of quote-unquote a macro Protoss, which really doesn't mean much. It just means you don't do anything terribly cheesy. And if you don't do anything terribly cheesy and don't have any particularly important or particularly spectacular things about your game, you are a macro Protoss. And we have Lockdog, who is slightly more aggressive than most Protosses. Ooh. That is a wide ramp, but Lockdog can do a little bit more to try to keep that drone out. Lockdog scouted both of the empty bases first. Favorite took a guess Favorite saw the probe, so he can come a little bit quicker over to Lockdog's base. And Favorite's gonna block. He's even gonna have a probe to help block. So Favorite really keeping Lockdog out. Lockdog has no idea what Favorite's doing, other than that he did not go for fast expansion. Favorite messes up a little bit, allowing that Zealot to get a probe kill. There's no real excuse to allow that probe to die before the Dragoon comes out. But let's see what kind of build Favorite was hiding. Moving forward with the Zealot and the Goon, he knew he could kill the probe with the Goon if the Zealots failed to block it. Lockdog going one gate Robo. We saw him do this quite interestingly in the ISL, which was casted yesterday, but actually played after this against Lockdog. Excuse me, not against Lockdog. It was Lockdog versus Draw. And he tried to get this. Once he got the scout off, he actually canceled the Robo and threw down 3 more gateways and just went for a really aggressive 4-gate build on Aztec. But he's not going to have the scout this time around, so he's not going to see whatever it was that triggered that kind of response against Astro. Meanwhile, Favorite getting very high in the gas. And still only on 2 gateways and then expanding. This is a very risky expansion to go for at this time because he doesn't have any tech to hide behind to get that expansion. Normally you want some kind of tech, or at least cannons too, but he's going to do it almost blindly. We'll see what Lockdog can do to punish that. Observatory out. Very fast observers for Lockdog. But since Lockdog has 2 gateways and the observatory did not go for fast reavers, I don't think that he's actually going to be able to punish this expansion. So it's going to work out well for Favorite, but Lockdog doesn't even realize that there's an expansion down yet. Which can be quite detrimental if that expansion is allowed to finish and mine for a good amount of time. It could really come back to haunt him that he let Favorite get such a strong economic lead. Robo facility on the way. And now the report box support for Lockdog. Favorite almost obligated to go for observers first, because Templars could certainly be out by now if Lockdog had gone that direction, and he was not able to get the scout off. There's the observatory, and another gateway going down. So after the observatory finishes, and after he gets an observer out, he can then go and get a robo support. But this is going to be significantly after Lockdog's. Lockdog has a Reaver on the way. He did not go a shuttle first, though, so won't be able to move out with it until that finishes. Lockdog finally has expanded, though. Nexus up to 60% done. Favorite obviously been mining for quite a while now. As you can see, these patches already almost 100 down. Some of them more than 100 down. But Lockdog does have the observer out, so he should be able to scout out exactly what his opponent's been doing. Hopefully he flew over... excuse me. Hopefully he flew over this expansion. He saw how long it had been mining. Reaver is out, and shuttle on the way. That is a very large probe transfer. Sometimes it's not. You do probe transfers because it gives you slightly more economy to do so, but there's an optimal number to transfer, and it's usually a little bit less than that. Probably just a selection mistake. Anyway, shuttle's out and Reaver's in it. With a second Reaver on the way, I imagine he wouldn't go with just a single Reaver. He's going to need 2 of them. That high ground can be quite hard to get up at times, even though it is so large. There are two general ideas. Unfortunately for Lockdog, he spawned counterclockwise. No, he spawned clockwise. Unfortunately for him, he spawned clockwise. So the 2 options you can attack from, either up this ramp or up and around with this small ramp. Going up and around the small ramp is very difficult, as opposed to Favorite, which he's naturally going to pass by the ramp en route to the larger ramp. So it's easy for him to pick one or the other. The idea with going up the small ramp is, if your opponent's not paying attention, you can sneak up your entire army up onto the same level ground, and then fight on an even footing rather than attacking up the large ramp. But at the same time, it's easy, if Lockdog knows about it, to get his units down and prevent it. And actually, he already has a goon there, so he is very much aware of that possibility. Favorite has a pylon here, but that pylon's more just to scout for drops. And Lockdog going in for some Reaver harass. There was an observer in perfect position to see it. There was a pylon in position to see it, but Favorite's not paying attention. Favorite's not paying attention. He's still not paying attention. Oh, that is a game-clinching kind of Reaver harass. Huge damage from Lockdog and just going to fly back home without taking a single shot. Oh, Favorite made a mistake. Favorite made a mistake and lost 8 probes. Well, That pretty much takes away the advantage he had gotten earlier from expanding so much faster than Lockdog. Because that was the cost of a Nexus, and it's going to take quite a while to be able to rebuild all those probes anyway. Lockdog, in fact, taking expansion of his own, so his third is going to be faster, can take the economic lead for himself. Currently dead even supply on 102 to 103. And Lockdog threatening to go out and do a little bit of more harass, but he needs to be careful to not run into this huge Dragoon pack. And he may have, I think he saw it with his Observer here, so he's going to pull the Reaver back and has Reavers and Goons on top of the high ground. This is going to be very hard for Favorite to break, but after that harass, Favorite feels compelled to make an attack, and this could be a really bad attack for him. Two Reavers versus two Reavers, similar number of units. I think that Lockdog has more Zealots and Favorite has more Goons. Certainly has more Goons now. But more importantly, Lockdog has the high ground, Lockdog has the defender's advantage, and even throwing down a cannon. Because why the hell not? Ooh, nice Reaver shots getting off. Which player is going to be the first one to be able to snipe Reavers? Is the question here. And those Dragoons are horribly clumped up. Lockdog, though, not paying attention. He loses one of his Reavers. The other one taking some damage, but not going to go down. He can pick it up and retreat. And this attack is actually looking very scary right now for Favorite. He's able to get up onto the high ground with a good number of his Goons. But Lockdog still has his Reaver alive. Favorite has his Reavers alive as well. The cannon does finish, but should go down rather quickly. Favorite still trying to snipe the Reaver, but very nice Reaver micro by Lockdog, keeping that thing alive. And Favor's going to pull back. Favor's going to just barely pull back, or he's going to pull back for a moment. Only 4 Dragoons and a Reaver left, but Lockdog has 2 Reavers of his own, and those are going to do a lot of damage very quickly. And, ooh, a DT coming out. Is there an Observer? Is there an Observer? There's not an Observer. Well, that's certainly going to put a damper on the attack. And, Favorite! Favorite making a rather large mistake, losing that Reaver to DTs, not picking it up with the shuttle. Ooh, that's going to cost him. He now does not have a Reaver and has a lot of speed lots. But Lockdog has 2 Reavers of his own, so a lot of speed lots are not going to be terribly effective. Favorite just now starting to take that expansion. That's very much so behind a Lockdog's already 150 gone from these patches. And Lockdog's going to rebuild more cannons. Kind of odd that Lockdog's actually ahead in supply and building cannons, but Lockdog realizes that if he just plays it defensively, doesn't make any real mistakes here, then he will end up winning this game. Ew, and it looks like Favorite's going to go in for another attack. This time Lockdog's cannons will be finished. He's going to have even more Reavers than last time, where Favorite has none. There are only 2 cannons here, but with these 2 Reavers here in the shuttle, it shouldn't be too hard for Lockdog to get some units down to try to defend, but here come the units to come up to attack. Going to be able to get onto the high ground quickly, taking out the first 2 cannons. There are a couple cannons in back. And now here come the Reavers, and the Reavers should have no problem dealing with all those clumped Zealots. They want to try to target down the Nexus. They're going to go for the Nexus snipe. All the units are attacking it, and they will in fact get it, and then immediately retreat. It's going to cost Favorite some units, but sniping that Nexus is a very nice thing to do. And a crafty move, doing some nice economic damage to Lockdog there. Lockdog now has some High Templar out. We already saw his Dark Templar earlier. I assume Storm is none. He actually has a lot of them. I assume he won't keep them all as High Templar. Ooh, but going in for more Reaver harass. It's a very injured shuttle. Is something to keep in mind. But there are no defenses here once again. And Favorite this time is going to react. So he will not lose all of his probes. Only going to lose a couple of them. And some Dragoons coming down. He needs to pick up the Reaver and retreat because the shuttle can only take a couple hits. The shuttle can only take a couple hits, and he's going to leave one Reaver behind as a sacrifice to allow the other Reaver to get away. Okay. Well, that's the problem with having a low health shuttle. You can only let it tank damage once, and then it really just becomes too fragile. Speedalot Harass coming down on the other side of the map. There are some cannons here, but Speedalot can take care of those cannons rather quickly. Now the Dragoons reacting, trying to get into position to defend. Question mark. Hajum. Apparently Lockdog saved? Why are you saving? I don't know. But the speed loss is turned around, so that's what matters. Lockdog taking a 4th base now, continuing to stay ahead in terms of economy. Now, finally, Lockdog is going to be able to start asserting that supply lead at 161 compared to 129. 30 supply lead for him. And Favorite's just going to miss out on seeing that probe transfer with his own probe. He does not know that Lockdog's expanding, so he does not have a chance to try to attack that. Is this the... Yes. Lockdog ferrying out to the heroic injured Reaver to defend this base a little bit. Well, Favor's going to be able to gear up for one last very strong attack. He has +1 compared to Lockdog's also +1. Is he our other player getting the next set of upgrades? +2, halfway done for Lockdog, and just started for Favorite. So yeah, Favorite has an opportunity for essentially one more strong attack, but if he can't do damage with his next attack, he can't get back into this game. Oh shit. Pausing it for momentarily. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm paused right now. Just to make sure everybody can get back. Okay. Okay. We can start again? Alright. That's weird. And I don't have anything else to say about that. Favorite with a pretty solid composition here. If anything, he might not have enough Archons with only 1 for essentially a maxed army, but at the same time it can be, with those Reavers, they'll also deal a lot of splash damage if you can get them in the right position. But Lockdog has a lot of Archons and Zealots, a lot more than their Dragoons. And Archons and Zealots quite good against Favorite's Dragoons. It's going to be a micro battle either way. Lockdog has so many Templar for so many storms. And oh, that Templar's going to go in for a snipe? Nothing. Doesn't even damage one. Swing and a miss. Favorite does... Apparently, Favorite realizes there's an expansion. No, maybe he doesn't realize there's expansion up there. He seemed to be heading up in that direction, but changes his mind, coming down to attack Lockdog. And ooh, if Lockdog engages here, this would be the worst place to engage. He's going to have to attack up a hill. He really should try to back off a little bit, force Favorite to come down the hill as well. And looks like that's what he's doing. There's even a probe to help out in that conflict. mean, both players have such big armies. There's a couple DTs out. Wait, there's a couple DTs out for Lockdog. I don't see an observer. I do not see an observer in this army. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that could be bad. Now attacking this base, there's some cannons going down, but the cannons are going to be too late. That one Reaver in the back is not going to be enough to defend. The probes are being pulled away. The Reavers might be able to get off some good shots, though. At least. He's paying attention. He can micro the Reaver. Micro the Reaver. Don't let it die to the other Reaver. One health. One health. Save the Reaver. No, not going to save the Reaver. Lockdog going in for a counterattack, though. NB favorite pulling his entire army back to try to defend it. It looks like this base is going to go down. A lot of idle probes surrounding the Nexus. And yes, this expansion will go down. Favorite has his army kind of in an odd position. It's really not going to stop Lockdog from moving down and attacking the rest of it. If he doesn't move his army now, he won't even have the high ground advantage here. Oh, sniping a Templar. And now Favorite coming in from two directions, half of his army one way, half of his army the other way. He's kind of surrounding Lockdog. Is Lockdog going to be able to retreat out? Lockdog doesn't seem like he's going in a particular direction either, sending some of his units one way, some of his units the other way. There's still no observer, though, for Favorite. Oh, there is an observer. Okay. Oh, he's storming his own guys. I think Favorite realizes he lost. And... okay, Favorite's not doing anything. Is he... doesn't seem like he's making units anymore. He's up to 3k. I guess he's now starting to queue units again. Is he gonna start playing? I mean, we all saw that, right? He totally just stormed his own guys. Lockdog himself has quite the bank at a 2.5k. Favorite at 3.5k. Well, with these last few minerals, Favorite will be mined out. Still has 3k left, but is at 91 supply compared to Lockdog's 194. Less than half. Yeah. I don't know what either player is doing. It's like they both simultaneously went AFK. I really don't know what to say. The game's over. It's not even like Lockdog trying to clean him up, though. Like, Lockdog just sitting here with this huge-ass army. Just A move. Just do it. A moving's fun, man. 80 supply now. He's still building? He doesn't seem to be building, and he's not mining. So he's just capped at... there we go! GG from Favorite. Don't understand the ending, but that's okay. SAS gets their first win, and will bring the score 1-2. Oh. Replay's bugged. Possibly. That seemed reasonable. Damn it. Alright. Game number 4, Mazur versus Zeki? What? Mazur's playing? Alright. Missoura's playing. On the right side, we have Ziki. And on the left side, we have NB's Missoura. Wow, this should be quite a good game. Depending on what Missoura's condition is. Missoura known for his PvZ prowess and being just very, very skilled in that matchup. And then on the other side we have Ziki, who is motherfucking Ziki. Like, he doesn't lose versus people in general, but he certainly does not lose versus Protosses. Alright. Well, nobody thought Missoura was going to be playing today because Missoura dropped out of ISL and had been generally inactive. So it's quite surprising to see him here. Well, Missoura's known in PvZ for his insane harass style. Just drop ships everywhere, lots and lots of storming of the mineral lines, just constant aggression, making his opponent player go look in every direction to try to defend all the bases. So very effective with the storm drops, and this is a pretty good map for storm drops. The main is open on a lot of angles for a shuttle to come in from, and as far as the natural goes, there's a high ground that makes it very easy for storm drops. I don't know. I really hope Missoura's in pretty good form here. Because if he's not in good form, he has no chance with Ziki. Because it's Ziki. And if you're not playing absolutely perfectly, Ziki is just going to laugh at you. And you will die. But if Missoura is playing correctly, well, Ziki's going to scout out with 2 lanes, try to see what's up with Missoura's wall. Missoura obviously making the correct wall here. This is a big opening at the top, but everything else is tight. And 1 cannon is going to suffice for now. Ziki actually building very few links, only 2 sets. And an expansion going down. I did not see Ziki versus Dr. K. I did not watch the Foreigner games because they were on at awful times for me, so it's like 3 a.m. or something. So yeah, I do not actually know what Ziki did to Dr. K on this map. I know he beat Dr. K. Did not know it was on this map. I heard it was a good game, but Missoura's building a pylon here. That does not seem like the type of pylon that would scout. No, Missoura's going to proxy some gateways. But this is a very late point in the game to proxy gateways. Huh. Missoura's gonna proxy some gateways. Well, it's gonna be interesting. Ziki will not be expecting that level of aggression from Mazur. I'm wondering if Mazur is also going to, if he's going to get speed before attacking, or if he's just going to go with a mass slow lot attack. There are not overlords in Mazur's base. If the overlord was down there, he would see that there's something very wrong, but Ziki trying to play it cautiously, and he doesn't want to lose more overlords than he has to, but that might cost him because he's not going to get scouting information on the main itself. Ziki, with a lot of speedlings, now going to try to poke in the front, but 2 probes and 2 zealots should be able to handle this. I don't know, and there's an overlord. Oh, the probe. Okay. Ziki saw the probe. Ziki should just move the overlord over here, and he would know. Ziki clearly knows the probe. He did see the probe, because he's now sending speedlings to kill the probe. But he's not actually scouting out the base. Or not the base, but the proxy. Wall going up for Ziki, but only a single creep colony, and it's just started. Still unclear when exactly Mazur is going to go for his attack, and ooh, there's a lot of speedlings out. Mazur needs to be careful to not let that few number of zealots be surrounded. Okay, and the Overlord saw the 4 zealots moving out, so this is going to be an 8 slow lot attack against that expansion. Ziki does have a lot of lings, is now throwing down another creep colony behind that, so he probably should send the Overlord over there, but still not doing that yet, just working on the defense. And, well, we'll see what 8 speed lots can do. Sunken Colony does not do too much damage to them, but this is a very nice sim city. Now continuing to get more up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other option is to go after this base, but this base looks rather secure as well. And he wouldn't, and with slow lots, it takes a long time to get from one side of the map to another, so he can't be terribly whimsical about it. Finally gonna scout this out with Scourge. So he sees the proxy. Speed has finished. How much longer until +1? No +1, is just going to get speed. And now the Zealots are moving across the map. Looks like they want to target down the other base. Apparently this was too much of a sim city for Mazur to deal with. Or not. Mazur being horribly indecisive with these zealots, and so far his proxy has done absolutely nothing for him. He'll be able to continue to add in zealots relatively quickly, now even making DTs out of there. But DTs with no overlords. Or excuse me, no Corsairs to kill overlords. Well, Ziki sends some lings to try to take out the proxy, but the DTs pop out in time and going to force the lings back. That Overlord just really does not want to move. Like, not even a little. And Mazur has a scary speedlot DT army out on the map, but he's just not doing anything with his speedlot DTs. There is an Overlord here. There's no way to kill the Overlord for Mazur, so I don't think these DTs are going to do anything. And he's actually going to... Interesting, Mazur is going for a very fast expansion behind this. How much longer until Ziki's Overlord speeds? Overlord speed's only at half, and Ziki will not be able to really do anything out on the map until then, knowing that Mazur has DTs. Ooh, Ziki's playing a dangerous game here, trying to put his Hydralisks out and bait Mazur into losing some of his DTs, but does not quite get them. Gonna cost him a Hydralisk and then some Zerglings. Finally, the Overlord moves into position. Going to see 2 more DTs coming out. And... well... Overlord speed should be pretty close. Overlord speed just finishing up, in fact. So Zeke can now attack and bring Overlords to try to find DTs. Looks like he's sending a lot of Hydralisks up to the top location, but before DTs in the middle of the map, catching them by surprise. Overlord finally catching up with them so the Hydralisk can attack, and oh, all the DTs are going to go down. Mazur did not pull back his DTs in time, and that's going to cost him. Ooh, finally going to be able to take out this proxy, and I mean, that proxy did give him map control, and the map control allowed him to get up this expansion, but really, I'm not sure that proxy was worth it. Not going to bother to kill the gateways, though. It really doesn't matter about Mazur having vision up here, and as long as they're unpowered, can't do anything. The threat of a probe building another pylon there is pretty small. This is... Man, I don't know what Mazur doing. If Mazur can somehow hold off these Hydralisks... Ooh, Zeke making a mistake there. Never send your Hydralisks up that ramp. Just doesn't work out well. If Mazur can hold this off, then he's going to be in a good position, having gotten that early third base, compared to Zeke's 4. But at the same time, I don't think he can hold this off. It's just going to be too many Hydralisks, and there's no Sim City here. There's some cannons up. He does have Templar. Actually, he does have a lot of Templar, 4. But Zeke's pretty good with storm dodging, so as long as Zeke dodges the storms correctly, I think these Hydralisks can do a lot of damage. Queen's Nest down. Interesting. Going for a hive without any lurkers. Just completely skipping that stage of the tech tree. That looks like 2-1. Getting pretty close to finishing. And oh, Zeke taking the gamble, going up the small ramp, and Mazur's not in position to punish it though. No, Zeke's gonna back off now. He may or may not have been able to get all of his Hydralisks up, but they would have been horribly clumped and the storm would have done a lot of damage. That's why going up that ramp is so risky. It's just so hard to get your entire army up there, and it's usually at a point in the game where you both have rather large armies. Mazur going to expand again? I don't know how he plans to defend all of these. The Hydralisk now moving up, and they're going for a bust. Ooh, very nice storm going down. Zeke trying to dodge, but doesn't do a lot of damage, and oh, this is the danger of it. This right here is the danger of it. You can't retreat down that ramp very well either. I don't know what Zeke is going for with these Hydralisk attacks. Well, Zeke did stop the 4th from going now, and has lurkers up on the high ground, so it's going to be pretty hard for Mazur to punish that. But Mazur doesn't even really need that base. 3 bases is fine for what he's trying to do, and Mazur now finally going out for some of his famous storm drops. 2 High Templar and a Zealot. This base is completely undefended, or he could drop on top of here because that has very high saturation. Either of those would be good targets for him. Zeke wants some lurkers here. Unclear whether he's going to try to expand there. And ooh, very nice movement by Zeke, completely dodging. Ooh, and Mazur's going to be sneaky. He's going to hide the High Templar in the back there and hope that Zeke doesn't see it. Although it looks like Zeke will. Zeke certainly sees that High Templar. Should probably kill it. We'll eventually kill it. There we go. So, Mazur not getting any damage done with that storm drop. Casting random storm at the end. And Mazur's going to go for an attack to take out these lurkers at the top of the base so that he can actually expand to his 4th. This is such an early 4th for Protoss. And he will eventually do it. It's just taking him a little while. Dragoon's doing a good job of blocking that ramp for the other units trying to come up. And gets the last two goons. Going in for another drop, this time 4 speed lots. The shuttle... Oh! The shuttle gets sniped by the Hydralisk. Ziki in a good position to shut that down, and Missouri was not dropping his units fast enough. He had an opportunity to get a couple of them down. Ziki slowly but surely just extending his supply lead, now up to 50. And a 50 supply lead for Zerg is devastating. Defiler Mound on the way. Well, Ziki once again is going to stop that from going down. It looks like Ziki's pretty content to just allow Missouri to be on only 3 bases. As long as he prevents that 4th, he feels he's going to be in still going to be in a pretty good position. But Missouri going in for a strong attack here. A lot of Dragoons, a lot of Templar. If he gets off some Storms, there we go. First Storm finally going down, and oh, blankets of Storms doing a lot of damage. Ziki refusing to dodge, and his Hydralisks are just going to eat it. Hydralisks coming in from the back, though. More Storms going down in that regard. Missouri has so many Storms. He brought 6 Templar along with his attack, all with full energy, and now morphs them all into Archons. One of them has gone down. The Dragoons have to defend the Archons for a little bit before they can get out, and then he has a pretty good defense against the Lings, but here comes a lot of Lurkers, and those Lurkers are going to do a lot of damage here. One of the Archons is going to be able to morph, but it's going to be a little bit too late, and Ziki does clear that up. Cost him a lot of units in the process because of those Storms, but still, successful defense, still maintains around the same supply lead. And still upgrading. Very nice. So, looks like these Lurkers are trying to block the ramp, but didn't quite do it successfully. So, probably all going to be taken out. Although there isn't an observer here. And reinforcements coming in from the back. Another good storm. Oh, that storm was very good. Hitting a lot of those Lurkers on the way in, but Missouri does not have enough units to capitalize on it and really punish. And Ziki will continue to keep Missouri out of that base. Ziki has Defiler Tech. Does he have an Ultralisk Cavern? You don't see the Ultralisk Cavern, but he doesn't really have a huge bank anyway to just invest into Ultralisk. Wow. Wow, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Lurkers. Morphing outside the natural. This is going to be a lot of Lurkers for Missouri to deal with. He needs to get some very nice storms off. Okay, taking out a couple with that one. Once again, Ziki's stacking up this small ramp, but this small ramp means that all of his units get funneled in. He's eventually going to be able to get up. But Missouri was in a slightly better position. That could have been horrible for Ziki. Oh, but Missouri's going to be forced back. All the Hydralisks coming in, and now Ziki might be putting the final nail in the coffin for this game. Missouri down to 100 supply, Lurkers containing him. His third is very vulnerable for when Ziki wants to take that out as well. The Lurkers moving forward, taking out the cannon, and now going to take out these buildings relatively quickly. More Lurkers coming in, trying to get into a good position. Probably going to go down, though, just because the cannons are still in a pretty good position to attack them. I don't think the Lurkers can quite range them. But here come the Lurkers from the back. Here come more Lings. There's a Reaver down. But will the Reaver be enough? I can't click on it to see how much health it has left. But Lurkers all in the natural. A lot of the probes are dying. Missouri's almost mined out here anyway. He was unable to get that fourth up, so he's going to be out of money very soon. Does not have a huge bank to work with. And GG from Missouri. Ziki tying it up 2-2 in SAS versus NB. So, kind of weird how that proxy did absolutely nothing, but interesting game nonetheless. We're going into game number 5, Flip versus Skylime. Alright. In the top right position, we have NB's Flip as the brown Zerg. And in the bottom position, we have Sass Skylime. No capitalization? No capitalization. Alright, and he is the teal Terran. So, TBZ on circuit breakers? On circuit breakers. Alright. Man, apparently everybody just wants to talk about game balance today. First it's about how Terran's imbalanced, now it's about how Zerg is imbalanced. Just every race is imbalanced. They're like so imbalanced, they're almost balance out each other's imbalances. Alright. Well, Flip is a player who obviously likes to go Mutalisks. And it would be quite interesting. You know what? I would really like to see Skylime go Wraith opening. Not just because I like Wraiths, but I think Wraiths could be quite effective versus Flip. Flip's a player who will go Mutalisks every game, and goes rather standard every game. So, forcing him to build that Hydralisk then would be would be quite disruptive to that, especially with a player who likes to do the same thing every time. And Flip's control is a little bit off. And in a Wraith versus Mutalisk battle, it's all about control. If you can just have that, if you can get into the perfect positions, and it's even harder for the Mutalisk player than it is for the Wraith player, just because the Wraiths can turn invisible. You need to also be microing your Overlords to keep them protected on one hand, but in the general vicinity on the other hand. So if you could really tax Flip like that, forcing him to micro Mutalisks and be getting his Overlords into position, I think that a player could be very effective doing that. Obviously, Wraiths versus Zerg are pretty rare for Terran. Skylime has done it on occasion, but not his standard build. I would hope to see it, though. Wraiths are fun. It's like, Wraiths are like a motorcycle, man. They're dangerous, but they're fast and exciting. And they explode when you shoot them too much. That too. Does anybody else find it weird how things don't miss in StarCraft? Like, for certain things like Siege Tank and Goons, it's like, okay, they have advanced targeting systems or whatever that hone in on their target and then fire. That kind of makes sense. But with things like Hydralisks, man, they're just spitting. Why does the spit always hit? They're just the perfect spitters. Doesn't matter if it's in a vacuum or it's on a planet with possibly wind, possibly changing wind. Don't know what the wind currents on Aztec look like, but those things never miss with their spit. They could be shooting at things in low orbit like battle cruisers. Don't miss. Shooting at vultures streaming by at 50 miles an hour. They don't miss. How does that work? On the other hand, if they did miss, then they'd be like the catapults from Warcraft 2. I don't know if you played Warcraft 2, but the siege unit, the catapult, or the ballista if you were humans, it would fire at where the opponent was, not where they're going to be. So if you were firing at a moving enemy, pretty much regardless of how slow they were, you missed every time. That'd be quite terrible if units missed. That actually makes for some really interesting micro opportunities. Like vulture on vulture micro battles, where if your vulture is moving, the opponent misses. It would be exactly like Shuttle versus Reaver, but every unit is every micro opportunity in the game would be Shuttle versus Reaver, or Shuttle and Reaver versus Shuttle and Reaver. That would be interesting. Yeah, I understand that they're like bred for that, but I mean, no missing at all. I mean, a sharpshooter doesn't miss, but the sharpshooter has time to like put down his tripod and line up the sight and judge wind currents and all that, and he isn't firing at a rate of three shots every 5 seconds. Anyway, Skyline going in for an attack. Ooh, very nice move by Flip, though, keeping his Lings just a little bit away. Flip loves to go for those Ling counterattacks / Ling backstabs. So just keeping him behind. Skyline engages the Sunken Colonies. Lings clean up most of the Marines. Very nice. And the Spire is on the way, but is Flip not saving Larva? Flip built a round of drones. He's not going to have a full batch of larvae. Or is he? No. He does not have a full batch of larvae. He has enough gas and minerals to have made a full batch of Mutalisks, but didn't quite time that correctly, so a couple of these Mutalisks are going to be just a hair late. And Skyline building his missile turrets. Lots of missile turrets in the natural, up to 3 already, but none in his main, interestingly. Meanwhile, going for getting up to 5 Raxes, plus 1's about halfway done. Flip's gonna fly in with his Mutalisks, eat a lot of missile turret hits, and oh, Flip. Oh, Flip. Flip. When you lose a Mutalisk before you're able to kill a Marine, it's not good. You know what? I don't like to be horribly negative to good players on stream, but Flip, man. He goes for Mutalisks every game, but his Mutalisk micro is lacking. Something is wrong with that. Okay, finally killed a Marine. Good. I mean, he's taken damage on all of his Mutalisks and lost one, but he killed a Marine. He used to have really nice micro. There was a point in time. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that. Oh, Flip. Flip! Gotta micro your Mutalisks better. Mutalisk coming in again. Okay. They have gotten 2 Marines now. Okay, okay. We're trying to get some Marines now. We're up to 4. I mean, the flock is half dead, but we're up to 4 Marine kills. Marines starting to move across the map. They would like to take out this base if possible. Ooh, mistake from Flip allowing that drone to die. And almost getting surrounded there, but managed to pick off a medic. And oh, Flip. Flip, don't do that, Flip. That's bad Mutalisk micro, Flip. He loses 3 Mutalisks because he held positioned a little bit too close to Marines. I didn't even think it was on hold position. I think they just weren't moving. Flip. I think Flip would be good if he just went Lurkers. Just skip Mutalist and went straight to Lurkers. But, I mean, okay. He's killed one more Marine than he's lost in Mutalist so far. So, there is that. He can hold on. Lurkers coming in. Gonna lose 1-2 immediately before the Marines pull back. Interestingly, Skyline did not go for the third base, which is typically where you would go for this type of +1 attack. But instead going to go for the main. The main's usually a bit more defended, but you can do more damage. And Mutalists and Lurkers trying to catch tanks en route for reinforcement. The tanks are trapped, but he is going to lose most of his Mutalisks. He will lose all of his Mutalisks. Now the Marines finally coming back to rescue the other things. And Flip will lose all of the Lurkers and Mutalisks, but he does snipe 2 tanks, which is nice. Not quite sure it was worth that many Mutalisks and Lurkers. Skyline now moving across the map once again with tanks. With tanks and science vessels. Shouldn't have too much of a problem getting across the double bridge as Flip only has a single Lurker out. A lot more morphing, but they're not going to quite be in time. Flip hiding some units back here. He's going to go for that same kind of backstrap he used to save his base the first time around. And we'll see if it works. The Marines are getting a little bit too far ahead. Skyline needs to pull back his units just to be a little bit more careful about this. Flip burying all of his Lurkers. Flip burying all of his Lurkers. The Marines are pulling back, and they're pulling back right into more Lurkers. And now the Lurkers can move forward and take out the last tank. Nice defense by Flip. This Lurker's getting in just in the nick of time, and he will once again save his base and force Skyline to retreat. It wasn't a +1 5 racks. It was 2 racks Academy, and then he just added on 5 racks. Up to 5 racks. So, Skyline, now throwing down 2 extra factories, just to produce a few more vultures than we saw in the other TBC today. Oh. Dropship? I believe that was a dropship, but didn't get any Zerg kills there. Oh, hey, Skyline's in chat. Hi, Skyline. Alright. Skyline has taken a third. Not going to take the safe third, which is a little bit interesting. Instead, going for the third with a gas. I believe it also has an extra mineral patch. Yeah, it has 1 extra mineral patch. But typically, Terrans are satisfied with just taking that extra mineral base. Don't necessarily need that third gas. So, we'll see if that comes back to bite Skyline, if he's able to defend it. But he does have a lot of vultures out on the map now, has a lot of map control, so it shouldn't be an issue. And he can get that gas, produce a lot of more mech units if that is the transition he's going for. Oh, these mines are going to be quite devastating if Flip tries to go across the bridge. He doesn't have Overlord in position, so he might not see them. I'm surprised the Skyline put absolutely no pressure on that side of the map. He had the SCVC that the expansion was going down there. Ooh. Okay, Flip's going to lead out with a Ling to see the mines there. Nice heads up play by Flip to know that he needs to be careful of that. And all the mines are going to get cleared except for that one. So very nice by him. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Yeah. Normally Zerg players, normally Terran players are a lot more aggressive about attacking this base just because the defenses are typically weaker, but it can lead to a trap of Terran players moving back and forth between the 2 bases and really not attacking either one. I can respect a player who really just wants to put a lot of pressure on and doesn't necessarily try to jump back and forth as, well, no, this one has more defenses. Well, no, this one has more defenses. So, just a couple lurkers to defend. They're going to go down immediately. Does the Defiler have energy? The Defiler does have energy for a swarm, but it's not going to go down. The Defiler taken out. The hatchery taken out. Wasn't even canceled. And now a lot of the drones are dying. There's a lurker and a sucking colony here, but there's a lot of drones. And now finally the Defiler comes out. It's going to be able to get a swarm down. The Marines need to retreat. The Marines need to retreat. We're going to retreat down a ramp. They might have been able to go to the right side, possibly. But he's going to lose a couple of them. Still managed to kill that hatchery off, so good overall. And now I can get off some nice irradiates with the science vessel, killing off lurkers and defilers and whatnot. And all of the barracks have been lifted off. More factories going down. It looks like he is up to 7. Yes, 7 factories. So we're going to have a full-on mech transition from Skyline here. He does have the map control for it. When you go for a mech transition, typically you have to sacrifice a little bit of map control just because you won't be producing the Marines. And it's going to take a while to completely switch your production facilities. But he has a lot of map control to give up, so it's okay if Flip makes a little bit of headway in that regard. How? How did Skyline not blow up all those tanks? Oh man, is he lucky. He still may lose them to just the overwhelming number of cracklings? No, he's gonna keep some of them alive. Man, very lucky that those vultures were killing the Zerglings quickly enough to not blow all of them up. Ultra's now out for Flip, but first one goes down. He does not have any more done quite yet, but some on the way. And even a Goliath. Well, Skyline now has his factories done. He has siege tanks outside of Flip's main, and ooh, this is looking very hard for Flip to break. It's so hard to cross the double bridge and attack. It's a very dangerous mine. Actually, a lot of these are very dangerous mines. So Flip placing, or excuse me, Skyline placing those mines very close to his own troops. The tanks aren't too clustered, so if there is a mine drag, it won't do too much damage. Anyway, looks like Flip's having a little bit more success defending the left side against the Marines. Can cast down some swarms, really putting a hamper on any aggression he can get over there. Zergling drops. Alright, Zergling drops. Managed to kill one tank. Well, Skyline now has crossed the double bridge, trying to get into position. A lot of consumes going down, and finally the swarm is casted. The lurkers, are they going to be able to burrow? Yes, they are going to be able to burrow. Not enough siege tanks to kill them fast enough. So Skyline will be forced back in a way, but he still has crossed the bridge. So he can get into this position. It's going to be a lot easier to move forward, and eventually that swarm will finish. Oh, here come more Zergling bombs, and those tanks are very clustered. No tanks lost. That one took a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, science vessel's coming in here. Gonna go for an eraser? Looks like yes, one of them will be going for an eraser, picking off some of those drones. Still trying to do Zergling drops on the tanks, but not quite tanking enough shots to do enough damage to kill off these siege tanks. Tanks now moving forward. Are there defilers? Where are the defilers? I do not see any. Tanks aren't even sieging up. Now that's a mistake. He's actually taking a lot of damage from these lurkers because the tanks are so clumped up. The Skyline might be able to win this anyway, but it's going to cost him a lot more than it should have. And there's still a lurker left. Okay, finally gets the last lurker, gets the Ultralisk. And I don't know why he was so aggressive there. All he needed to do is just siege up a little bit closer. But here come the Lings. The mine? No! Once again, Skyline very lucky with that mine not blowing up and destroying half of his army. And again. Oh, he's giving me a heart attack with this. But finally, now moving forward, going to lay more mines. And all these drones are idle. Going to try to retreat back into the main. Oh, but Skyline's going to be able to take out the Natural, take out the Queen's Nest that's here, and then probably move up into the main. Flip, very much so contained on just his 2 bases. Finally took care of the Marines that were out here, but really just does not have a lot to move out from on this side. And I don't know how he's going to be able to deal with that many siege tanks at this point. Looks like there's going to be more crackling drops. And unsiege in time, so going to still lose 1 just because the cracklings do so much damage, but only 1, not going to splash himself to death. And yet more and more mech rolling in. I do believe that this base will finally be taken out now as soon as Skylime gets to the top of that ramp. Meanwhile, Flip can go for small crackling attacks on the other side, but Skylime has half of the map, and Flip has next to nothing. Yeah, 78 supply compared to 167. Radiating the Ultralisks. There's only 1 Ultralisk will be left remaining after this radiates kick in. All the Ultralisks go down. The tanks are now on the high ground, taking out the hatcheries, taking out the tech. Going to be able to kill off all of those drones as soon as they siege up. Going in for yet another attack, this time bringing drones along with them. Possibly to distract shots, possibly to get some splash. And GG from Flip. Skylime takes the lead for Team Sass and needs only 1 more kill to beat NB and advance to the finals. All right. So, what could be the last game of this match between these two teams? We have NB's Mob versus Zaraki. Mob? Does Mob play still? Mob is an older German Protoss. Alright, well, let's see. In the bottom left, we have Sass Zaraki as the White Zerg. And in the top right, we have NB's Mob. Is it... I can't remember. Oh, alright. It's not the version with the capital O in the middle. But I can't remember if it's an O or a 0. Ramp map? I don't know either, Zaraki. It's like, no, this is Fortress. There are no ramps on it at all. I don't think that's what he was asking. Mob is orange, by the way. Because I think he was asking if there was a ramp here. There's not a ramp there. There's a ramp over here. But that isn't even the way that most players would attack. They'd attack through that. I still don't know exactly what Mob was trying to get. Does Mob really not know match point? Because he's not sending his probe in the quote-unquote optimal direction. You can place proxies down here. But apparently no. Apparently he just does not know match point because he sent the probe in the wrong direction. How do you not know match point? Oh man. Mob has been deprived in StarCraft, man. Because match point's a great map. Everybody should know match point. It's awesome. Oh, and Mob is German, which means he doesn't know what a cupcake is. And that's even sadder. No match point and no cupcakes? Oh, I'm starting to tear up a little bit for Mob. How do you live life without match point or cupcakes? Can you call that a life? Can you really call that a life? Zaraki gets down his hatchery. Admittedly, I was so distracted by Mob's lack of knowledge of match point that I was not paying attention to Zaraki's build, but it looks like an overpool. And Zaraki getting a little bit too close to that Overlord. I don't think that cannon's going to quite warp her in time to attack it anymore. Nope, but going to lose 100 health off of that. And now expanding behind it. So... Mob did not go for the conventional wall on this map. He can put the gateway here or here. If he puts it here, I think it's tight with the minerals, but he won't be able to get goons out, and then there'll be a hole in this slot. But if he puts the gateway over where he did on this side, then this is not tight, and this is not tight. Nope. Actually going down for Zaraki. So he is going to be on a relatively fast 3 bases. And now getting the lair. So Zaraki seems to be going for normal stuff, but the issue is with match point, and in general for 2-player maps, is that it's hard for Zergs to take a 4th compared to something like Aztec, where if you have a 3rd base, you naturally have a 4th base. So, considering how far away these bases are, it really favors Zerg to be more aggressive on this map, to really consistently keep map control, so that you don't have to rely on SimCity to defend your base. Because not only do you not have one SimCity to control 2 bases, but at this base, you can't SimCity this correctly. There are 2 entrances to defend. So the only way you defend both of those entrances is to control this high ground pod. And then use your units instead of relying on sunken colonies. Mob starting those at about the same time. I think he might have technically started the Citadel before. But getting a relatively fast Citadel. +1, about 35% done. Alright. So Zaraki has 4 hatcheries now. Presumably the 5th one will be started here relatively soon. He just got up to 300 minerals. And there's the hatchery. As you can see, he's putting the hatchery right next to the other one, so he really can't do a good SimCity here. Or at least he's not going to attempt to do one. And Mob has Stealth Speed on the way. First Corsair is out. +1 still continuing. This is gonna be first scout Mob has had in a while. He didn't send out a second probe, and the first one died rather quickly. So, going to see the Spire coming up. Scourger on the way though, so Mob won't even be able to get a single Overlord kill. He did delay the. Excuse me. He did delay his Stargate a little bit, so unable to get that first Overlord kill that most Protosses just come accustomed to. And Zealot now moving out. Speed is just finishing up. We'll in fact be able to get one Overlord though. The Scourge coming, but the Scourge is going to be a little bit too late to save it. Speed is done, +1 just about done, and this is going to be the Speed Lot attack. Now, how Zaraki's defense is, he's going to put an Evolution Chamber here just to guard this a little bit better. Obviously not tight here, this will be tight when there's an egg present. So this is actually a rather effective SimCity, but Mob not going to go after that one, going to go top side. And this is kind of an interesting way of defending this base, just putting the Sunken Colony so far back, using the drones to try to defend it. Is it going to work? The Zealots are getting bugged out by the drones. It was a very effective drill, and actually most of the Zealots are on the wrong side, so these Sunken Colonies are just continuing to do damage. Finally, some of these Zealots are trying to get hits. But that was a very effective defense from Zaraki. Lost a couple of drones, did lose a Sunken Colony, but overall, very successful defense. That was nice. That was very nice. So, rebuilding the Sunken Colony so that when this next wave of Zealot aggression comes in, who will be equally defended again. This one is not going to be quite as strong as last time, so Zaraki should not have a problem with it once again. Even looks like he's even building a third one just in case. Zealots are able to get in though before the drone drill, but again, another effective drone drill, not allowing those Zealots to attack the Sunken Colony, is going to live with 100 health. Meanwhile, Zaraki's Hydralisk range is finished. And Lurker upgrade now started behind that. There's the Archon. Look at Archon going down. Storm still has a little bit of ways to go, but should be in time before any kind of engagement. Doesn't look like Zaraki's gearing up for any super strong attack here. No, the Hydralisks are going to be able to get through here, but Zaraki just needs to remember that he can't actually make Lurkers in his base because they won't be able to get out. So just needs to remember to bring the Hydralisks to the other side and then morph them into Lurkers every time. Although this Hydralisk is very stuck because it wanted to get through that gap, but there's an egg there. Wanted to get through that gap because there's an egg there. Slightly humorous. Mom going out for another attack, though. This time, ooh, those Templar are lagging so far behind. And those Zerglings? No, not going to head around. They might have been able to get a snipe there. But those Templar are dangerously far behind. And oh, Zaraki, very nice. Going to be able to pick off some of these Templar. Mob not careful about keeping his army together. And now Zaraki's going to micro some Hydralisks on the high ground while his Zerglings snipe Templar. But no, does not quite snipe it. The Storm kills off most of them. And now Mob pulling back. Zaraki should be able to defect this pretty easily. How much energy? One storm, and ooh, it was a nice storm. Pretty good storm dodge from Zaraki as well, but a lot of these Hydralisks took damage. And now Mob can expand to take that third. A good number of Corsairs out for Mob. He's actually been really passive with them. Aside from that first one moving out, this is really the first time in the game that his Corsairs have been out on the field trying to find some Overlord kills. Should be able to find this pack, yeah, and there's only a Spore Colony really to defend, but Overlord speed is done, so Zaraki shouldn't lose too many. A little of a mistake there. He could have been able to save some of those. A couple Corsairs are going to go down, though. And Zaraki's supply blocked. Well, he has a very nice Lurker Hydralisk army. Could be quite difficult for Mob to deal with. Does Mob have Observatory? No, Observatory is halfway done, so it's going to be a while before the Observers can get out, if not in time for this battle if Zaraki attacks soon. And this base can be hard to defend as Zaraki gets to attack down from a high ground. Actually moving in with the Hydralisk, no Lurkers at all. Needs to watch out for storms though. There's one storm, good preemptive dodge. Comes back a little bit too soon though, can take some damage from that. And there goes two of the storms, and there is only two... Okay, there are 4 storms left, or about to be. This is at 142. So, Zaraki needs to continue to dodge here. He's managed to keep a lot of his Hydralisks alive after all the storms have gone away. Another storm down, and here come the Lurkers now. They're going to burrow in, do a lot of damage to these units, and the High Templars are going to get out of there, and the probes are evacuated, so the Lurkers aren't going to do that much damage. but none of these units can attack because he doesn't have observers. He's going to have to rely on storms. Oh, that was a very nice storm. A lot of these lurkers are clumped, and oh, Zaraki did not spread out his lurkers, so only 2 of them left. Looks like now he's going to spread them out a little bit. And attacking this pylon. Did he hit the cannon? No, he does not. He's not hitting the cannon. He's only hitting the pylon. But all these are unpowered now. Threw that cannon down just in time. But I don't think Mob realizes that these cannons actually don't have power. I'm not sure if unpowered cannons still are detectors. I don't think so. But the observers should be coming out anyway. Ah, there it is. So, it won't matter whether they are or not. And Zaraki's going to move back now. So, attack did okay damage. Hive on the way for Zaraki. And he has taken this mineral only, as he now has a pretty big force on the high ground pod that's going to make defending that base relatively easy. What are the upgrades looking like? 1-1. And does he have 2-1? 2-2 on the way. Okay. So 2-2 on the way for Zaraki. No Ling upgrades quite yet. And then 2-0 for Mob. With 3-0 on the way? Yeah, with 3-0 just started. Okay. That is a very scary army look coming out from Zaraki, and Mob, who had a lot of storms earlier, all of a sudden does not have a lot of storms. There are a couple Templars up here, but that is it. None with the bulk of the army. Okay, now more Templars coming in, and there are the storms that we were expecting, catching a lot of those Hydralisks, but not any of the lurkers. There are observers here, but you tend to take a lot of damage if you're not storming those clumped lurkers, and Zaraki will be able to just win this battle barely, as the final Dragoons are going to be cleaned up by lurkers and possibly Lings. Yeah, Lings are going to help with that. So Zaraki is going to win that engagement. Mob loses all of his Templar, which is huge. Does he have any more? Because he really needs some Templar to hold off Zaraki's next attack. There is one. There is one, and not even one building. Ling scout out this base, and Zaraki should be able to take out that easily, as only a couple of these cannons are finished. Is there only one pylon powering these? Only one pylon's powering these, so the lurkers just need to take that out. And yes, pylon's down, so the cannons are no longer active, but Dragoons coming in to try to save this base. It looks like the Dragoons are going to be enough anyway. Couldn't quite do enough damage fast enough. Second time, Mob's had a good number of unpowered pylons, interestingly. Hive's done. What the heck do we have? Defiler Mound with Consume, getting pretty close. No Ultralisk Cavern. On this map, it's pretty hard to get a fourth gas, which is what Zerg would really like before going Ultralisks. Looks like Zaraki's now taking that fourth gas. But having a large unit presence here really doesn't cover this fourth very well, and a Dark Templar is going to scout it out. There's an Overlord in the vicinity. He has speed, but not a lot of units there. And oh, the Dark Templar is actually not going to quite scout it. Zaraki's moving out with a large army, lots of Lurker Ling. These Lings do not have attack upgrades quite yet. Ooh, and Mob doesn't see it. He doesn't quite move his units up far enough, so he's actually... So this base is going to go down very quickly. Is he now moving units into position? Yes, he's now starting to move units into position, but Zaraki has some Lings in the back to deal with the goons. Taking out those cannons very quickly. Oh, gets the Templar. That is huge. That was his only Templar, unless he's built another one since then. Okay, he's won with this army here, but still, very few Templar numbers. Is very costly to lose them like that. And Zaraki easily able to take out that base. There is some kind of force from Mob threatening behind, but Zaraki shouldn't have too much of a problem with it if it doesn't catch him by surprise. Is he gearing up for an attack on the bottom right? Unclear at the moment. More gateways for mob. More gateways for mob. Ooh, DT drop. Where'd the DT go? Oh, the DT must have been killed by some colonies. But pretty successful drop, killing off a good number of drones before Zaraki was able to react to it. And now going to be cleaned up. Doesn't quite catch the Spire. Zaraki now has finished this base, getting creep colonies here. So, now that Zaraki has his base up, he's getting the gas immediately. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cultural's Cavern soon. Ah, there it is. Halfway done. Moving in for another attack again. Do these cracklings still have no upgrades? No, still unupgraded cracklings other than the armor. Ooh, I don't even think they have crack. No, they don't have crack yet. That's a mistake for that many Lings to not have the crack upgrade from Zaraki. But going in for the attack anyway, the Lings can still do a good amount of damage even without it. And the Lurker's trying to move forward. Mob doing a good job of getting out of there before he takes too much damage from the Lurkers. And, well, now moving forward, and he will take some good damage from the Lurkers. Zaraki bringing in a few more reinforcements, but the Storms are doing so much damage. Mob doing a really good job of getting the Storms down. Plague on 6 of the Dragoons. They were mostly injured Dragoons to begin with. And now, another stream of Lings coming in. Is Crack... Okay, Crack just finished. So the attack happened just slightly before Zaraki wanted it to. He wanted to get Crack before the engagement happened. And now Swarm down. So these units are protected. More Storms going down. And the Templar... There's so many Templar for Mob. It's hard for him to use all of them at the same time. And yet more and more units from Zaraki streaming in. Almost all of them are Zerglings at this point. And GG from Mob. He cannot handle that aggression. And Zaraki takes it for SAS 4-2. SAS defeats their former clanmates in NB and will advance to go play GT. SAS versus GT next week, Gambit Cup Finals. Well, that's it for my cast. I think Elmaster should have started now with ISL, so go tune into that if you still want some Foreign Brood War action. Thank you to the sponsors, Twitch TV, Nerbopolis, and Prowler. As for what I'm casting, I'll be casting the finals next week. I don't actually know what the time is. So, I haven't been told by AWA when he wants me to cast it, but AWA should be letting everybody know what time that is relatively soon. And ISL next week. I'll be casting that at 21 CET. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys again soon.